Hello. Hi, Dree. How are you? Just getting set up. All right. Get this adjusted a little bit. It should be about right. Hopefully everything looks okay. All right, so I haven't softened up my clay. I got everything ready, but it took me a little while to find all my little hardware parts. So Dree, how are things in your world? So the setup looks good, thank you. I'm going to start with a base of silver, using Primo accents for all of this. I just kind of have a general idea of what I'm doing today. I'm just going to play it by ear. Hi Gavin, how are you? Going to soften up my Primo accent silver. It's a little firmer than I was hoping for. That's what I get for not being quite prepared. Dree says it's okay, the weather was very fair today, so we're outside a lot. Now we're overheated and winding down on here. Winding down with your live stream, that is. Well, good. It's not good that you're overheated, but it was pretty nice out here yesterday. It was supposed to get up to 65 degrees or Fahrenheit, and it got up to 75 when we had to go drop something off yesterday. I stayed in the car. Good morning, Brandy. How are you? Hi, Tori. Well, Tori, I wouldn't say this is late. It's just getting started. I haven't even softened up my colors yet. So Dree says that it was about 18 degrees Celsius, which was, so I was telling her it was 75 here yesterday. I don't know what your average temps are where you're at. Gavin says, last night I took a toy blaster and got a speaker and 2 buttons and a clip. Oh, it went away. Gavin and his retracted messages. Tree says the weather here is fierce mild. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself because I always do, but I've already thought about, and I labeled this that way, about doing, a Let's Make a Robot stream, and maybe not weekly like the monster one, but maybe bi-weekly on Saturday morning if anybody thinks that would be interesting. We'll see how today goes though. Dree says, but summers have becoming way hotter over the last years. Tori asks, what kind of robot are you making? I don't know. I've got some clay here. I've got some extra hardware left over from some projects. Let's getting underneath my wax paper. Gavin says, I took apart a toy blaster. Got 2 buttons, a speaker, and a chipboard. My last comment said worst instead of apart. Ah. Yes, I'm just going to make a little robot out of clay and some leftover hardware. I always save, you like when you get that buildable furniture or whatever, I always save those pieces. Plus I bought this package for some other art projects a year back of all these nuts and bolts. So I just thought I would get those out and see what I can come up with. All right, so I've got my Reynolds wrap here. Someday we're going to get Reynolds to sponsor my channel, because my favorite thing is great for leftovers, wrapping sandwiches, and so much more. Like today, little robots. So I think I'm going to start with like a cylinder type base, kind of like R2-D2's body. That doesn't mean I want to make the rest of them like that. But you guys can let me know what you think I should do with them. Andrew says my son finally says hi. Well, tell him hi from Andrew. I appreciate him joining us today. Tori says, okay, I have to go. Bye. I will see the replay. Awesome, Tori. Thank you. You have a great day. So I'm just getting this nice and tight and smooth. Want it to look as, I don't want to say manufactured as possible, but you know, as get these nice straight edges. Then I'll roll out some of my silver clay. Gavin says, do you have a P.O. box that we can send craft supplies to you? Tree says, that's a good idea. Oh, Gavin, thank you. I don't. I can message you my address. I mean, you guys really don't need to do that, but I do appreciate anything. So if you want me to message you my address, I can. It's one of those things. I live in a pretty small town, so even if I had a P.O. box, you know, it wouldn't be that hard to track me down. Hopefully I never get that famous. I have to worry about that. Dree said I'd send some Dutch stuff. Now that would be pretty awesome. I mean, anything would be awesome. I do want to mention, you know, and you guys coming on my videos and watching my content and helping my channel grow, I mean, that means so much. And that's really, you know, honestly, that is plenty. Gavin says, or anything such as art or stuff like that. Well, thank you, Gavin. This is getting rolled out. Really like the metallics in Primo. I like the way they're not a solid color. They kind of have this swirl pattern to them. So I'm just gonna cover that, cut off, and then I'll smooth this out. cover the ends. Miz says, yay, I made it today. I fell asleep about 10 minutes before the last stream. No worries, Miz. I appreciate you being on this morning. As long as YouTube cooperates, I always put those streams or leave those streams up on my channel. Past 2 days, it's taken a really long time for it to show, at least on my end. But then I've had some people with notifications turned on and they're able to click on the link from there. Dree says, well, thanks for making your content. I would love to be able to share it with more people, but honestly, I'm the only one I know that does polymer clay and crafting in general. I hang out with pretty beta people. Do you use that terminology in the US? No. I haven't really heard that terminology used for people. Beta here, you know, it's like, I always think of like computer software that's in beta form when it's not finished or open to the public yet. I know there's not, where I'm at, it's a, like I said, it's a small community. There's not really a lot of crafters that do stuff like this. In fact, when I go to conventions in Nebraska area, there's only one other person I know, and she does a lot of like polymer clay sculptures. So it's nice to kind of catch up with her because she's kind of, you know, does a lot of the similar things. Miz says it's 5 p.m. here, and I am at my parents to celebrate my dad's birthday. I might be a bit less present. Totally understandable, Miz. Tell your dad happy birthday. Hope he is doing well. Did you get the wrist warmers done for him, and is he going to wear them? Dree says beta is maths and such, exact science maybe. Okay. So I think that's works for a good little cylinder body for our robot. Do we have any input on what kind of head he should have? It could be like a square head. I could do a ball head. I could do a half dome head, like, you know, an R2 unit. But again, I don't want it to look too much like an R2. Brandy says you can't even buy clay in my town. Right now I can't buy clay. I mean, like, I haven't been able to for years. Andre says he's super round. There was a quilting store that got some clay in basically for me, and hopefully it would expand. Eyeless Jack, hey. Dree says his son says oval. Miz says no, I have just 1.5 done, but liked it and promised to use it when they're done. Okay, awesome. Randy says I have to drive 7 miles or order online. Yeah, I'm about that. About 60 miles from me to go get art supplies now. Like I said, a quilting store used to have it, but they don't anymore. They've kind of moved locations and changed their stock, so I have to go to a town about an hour away. Gavin says, can you do oval? Can you do a trapezoid head? I'm going to go with an oval one since that's what Dree already brought up. Eyeless Jack says, remember me from 2 years ago? Yes, I do, Eyeless Jack. You're one of my earlier subscribers. You wanted me to make an Eyeless Jack, and I never have. It was like on my to-do list. Brandy says square. Gavin says, can you do a trapezoid like the orange R2 in Star Wars? Tree says, oh, that's a lot of shape suggestions. Miz says, trapezoid sounds fun. Well, guys, I'm going to disappoint some of you, but I am going to go with oval because I wanted to do this live stream for Dree's son this time because my other live streams were too late. So he's going to get his oval robot head. But like I said, if I do this more often, you know, like if I do this a couple times a month, you can definitely, you know, do different styles. So I'm going to shape my foil just like I did for that. And the only thing I realize now, as I'm shaping my foil and I get the foil so dense, it's going to be hard to push some of this stuff in, but we'll give it a shot. Ms. says oval is fine. Drew says like a laying down. He says. Brandy says oval works too. I don't know what it means by laying down. I was thinking of like, oh, like it's sideways. Eyeless Jack says you're the first YouTuber that I ever liked. Awesome, thank you. I'm glad to see you back on here, Eyeless Jack. Maybe you can finally, give me that nudge to make that Eyeless Jack sculpture. Tree says yes, sideways. Awesome, yeah, I can do that. Just gonna shape it out a little bit more. Kind of has like a capsule shape. I do have some wire here, so I'm going to stick it on with a wire to give it a little bit of support. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in now. Mrs. Dad says thanks. All right, so I'm going to use my needle tool. Hopefully not as I add stuff, I don't distort my sculpt too much, but if I do, we'll fix it. Eyeless Jack says, so is sculpting hard? It depends on what you make, how much practice you put into it. I've been doing this for 10 years consistently, and some things are really easy for me, and other things are still just like, like if I try something completely new, it's still a learning process. Gavin says, does anyone else like taking old stuff apart for the fun of it? I have in the past, not recently. Miz says he was a bit surprised when I told him he had a congratulations from the U.S. Yeah, it's funny because right now we're all kind of having to stay apart, but we're able to connect online, and it's fun. Like before the internet, I would have never met people from different countries, let alone have them enjoy my art. So this is awesome. And I don't have like, a certain time frame in mind for this guy. It's just whatever it's going to take. But basically, because he's so flat, I'm going to roll out both sides and then do the edge. Once I get this done, I'm going to start adding some details, and then we'll figure out if we want to do some kind of limbs on him. Eyeless Jack asks, what country are you from? I'm not for sure who he's referring to, but I'm in Nebraska in the U.S. All right. Just use my X-Acto knife to kind of cut that out. And I'll do the other side the same way. Dree says, my son wants to tell you, Andrew, that he likes the teeth on your monsters. Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that because I think it's fun to do those little teeth sticking out. It's always fun to do art that you enjoy, but if you're going to put yourself out there, whether you publish art or, try to sell it on Etsy or do it on YouTube, I mean, you obviously want other people to enjoy it too. So I am very fortunate that my art is appreciated. can see I've got the head covered on two sides. I have these screws here that I thought would make cool little eyes. Have a nice contrast. We'll see if I can get them in there. Just soften this up a little bit and wrap that around after I roll it out. Gavin says, can you do like a panel that flips out and he has tools in it on arms? Not for sure. I'm trying to think of how that would be. Dree says, I find that very hard. I'm always very critical of my own stuff, so sharing it with others is scary. Yeah, it's it's one of those things too. I mean, after putting stuff online for so long, I notice different people notice different things, and certain flaws that I see nobody ever sees. But then there's that time too where people notice something you didn't, and you're like, and then now like, oh crap. Brandy says we're all critical of our own work. Yes, absolutely. Ms. says, I've been thinking about creating a tag for posting things inspired by your live streams, like A Art Live or something. That'd be great, yeah. And you know, we can, if other people want to do that, we can use the same tag, and then if you guys want me to share it in a video, I could do that once a week or something, or once a month. I have lots of ideas for upcoming video content, and if you see something that I post that you really like, let me know so I know, you know, that that was well received. Or if you thought something, you know, wasn't your cup of tea, let me know. I mean, I won't know unless people give me feedback. And as long as you're constructive about it, it's not gonna, you know, offend me. I think we have a pretty awesome community here, so I'm not really worried about anything negative. This is magnetic, as you can tell. So I'm not happy with how this wrapped around, so I want to kind of blend these in. Kevin says my cup of tea is salt, salty crafter reference. Eyeless Jack says it's sad that you don't have more subscribers. Well, don't be sad, Eyeless Jack. We'll just keep working on it. I'm happy with where I've gotten so far. YouTube is a very large platform, and it takes a while to build it up. And like when I started watching Nerdy Crafter, she had 24,000 subscribers, and now she has over 1 million. And I'm sure she never thought she would get to that point. But she stuck with it, and that's something I'm doing, and I'm having more time to work on art, so I'm trying different things and seeing what works. And I'm hoping when the world's a little more back to normal, even if I don't have as much time to work on my channel, I will know, like what I enjoy doing the most and what people appreciated the most, and I can stick with that. So you're always going to see content from me. And really, if you guys want to help the channel grow, just be sure to share it on social media. Dree says, I think that's super cool, Andrew. Thank you. I like the oval head's working out pretty well. Gonna see if I can add these as eyes before I put it on the body, because I know I'm gonna have to put some pressure into it. They could probably stick out a little bit. There's no rules here with my little robot guy. I actually kind of like that they do. Dre says not everything needs to be huge. No, yeah, and I mean, I want to do my art full time, but I can't even imagine trying to deal with a channel that even had 100,000 people. Miz says, my first subscription was nerdy, and now I have expanded quite a bit. One day I'll try posting a video on my channel. I think I have a few subscribers without any content. Definitely, Miz. Give it a shot if that's what you want to do. Eilish Jack asked, do you ever sketch a project because you do it before you do it? Yes, I do some when I did my blobs, when I was trying to design them, and I know they're simple, but I did a lot of sketches for them first. I did that when I was doing, it's like when I do a new series, because I did that with the Wonky Weirdlings, and if you watch my first Wonky Weirdling video, you'll see that sketch in there. And I even did some teddy bears once. I've tried that with, with some chibi characters, and I still haven't found a form of chibi characters that I liked. I've got this hoop, this eye ring thing here, and I'm using that to kind of make a screw hole. Dree says, suggestion for my son, antenna. Absolutely. We could do that with a wire and a little bit of clay, or maybe just a wire. There, one eye's in and one eye's a little farther out. A little off center, but then I'm going to take ball tool and just make a little straight mouth. Eilish Jack says it's 11:28 p.m. in Malaysia. That is late. I thought I was doing this early for everybody. I know Mrs. message was for Dree. Obviously, everybody can read it. But I follow Ms. on Instagram, and the stuff she does with the dolls is amazing. And I think, you know, doing a channel that covers your art, I mean, like mine's Andrew's Clay Creations and more because clay's my focus, but obviously I do more. So I kept it, you know, so people that were looking for clay stuff knew that's what I did, but I didn't want to limit myself. And that's something that, you know, I think, Ms., you could do and be really good at, is to do something where, you know, you pick your main focus and then just expand from there. I mean, that's just my thought. Eilish Jack says, Happy Easter. Happy Easter, Eilish Jack. The robot is super cute. Thank you. Gavin says, Andrew, do you think you can get sculpting ideas from Instagram and you can make people suggestions? Absolutely, if it's something that inspires me. Alright, so that's what I've got so far on the robot. Now we want an antenna, so I will go ahead and add that. So I'm going to cut a section of this wire off. And then I think it'd be cute to kind of wrap this a little bit. So it's got kind of a, you know, it's not just a wire sticking out. Ms. says I might try a few short time lapse on something. Definitely do, Ms. And if you do, put some videos up, let me know. I'll definitely subscribe to your channel. And when you get going, I'll definitely help promote it. We could even do a collaboration sometime. I'm all for doing content with other videos. I've only done one so far with Trino Nights, but that was a lot of fun. So I decided, oh no, I think what I'm going to do, I was going to put a little piece of clay here for that wire to come out, but I think I'll use this little bolt, or this nut, I mean. Eyeless Jack says, why did you start a channel? Just wondering. No, it's always fun to get people's inspiration. So I started my channel a little over 2 years ago, and when I originally started doing art and I was putting it on Facebook, I was kind of frustrated because I would, take a bunch of pictures of this monster, but I never felt like the pictures did it justice. So I thought it would be fun, to do videos and kind of show it more in 3D. So I'm sorry guys, I gotta just blow my nose a little bit. Allergies are bad, I don't have the Rona. So I thought it would be fun, to do some videos, and then I've always enjoyed watching time-lapse videos. So I started with that, and I thought, maybe, if I inspired other people, and plus shared my art, and it's kind of a combination of things. I like to help others with art, and I like to show my art off. That's one thing, even in school, I always got attention for being a decent artist. So there's our start of our robot with the little antenna. But, and I didn't go to school for art. It's not my full-time job. But it's something I would like to do full-time, and I have a lot of other ideas, as things go on, of stuff I want to try and share with people. And probably my biggest dream would be to make my own manufactured toy, like little monsters or something. But at the moment, I mean, I really enjoy doing this, so that's kind of where I'm at. All right, so now I need to figure out what I want to do for arms for this little guy. And if I want to do more details on him, but I might have to wait till I put the arms on or legs. So any input on that? Tree says, Andrew, about making your own toy. And I've done resin casting too, or I was going to try to just cast them myself, but I didn't have the best of luck with it. I have done some resin casting of some flat things that worked better. Dree says you should also watch Craftsman. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out. Miz says, my brother has Corel Video Studios. I'll have help there with doing videos. Excellent. And you can always shoot me a message if you have a general question about anything. Dree says he self-produced a few toys. Awesome. Gavin says, Andrew, me and my dad have a little workshop that if you send me ideas for toys, I could try to make it. Oh, awesome. Definitely. All right, I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to do for arms and legs for this guy. Oh, and we didn't do trying to think if we're doing a panel that opens on it. Tree says the bolt was a great idea. Thanks. Gavin says just wanted to help out. No, I appreciate it. You guys are all awesome. I have an idea of what I want to do here, but I'm not for sure if this is going to work. Miz says the legs could be sturdy, so he can take lots of additions. of hardware. I have this image of these little arms. He says yes, sturdy legs. He says maybe with some textures. I don't know what we mean by sturdy legs, like just thick legs. Kevin says, you know, those toy robots that are a little loud and their feet go in cycle. You could do that, it makes sense. Henry says, I didn't know you could retract messages. Yeah, Eyeless Jack, I think, learned that from Gavin. He says cylinder-shaped legs. So I have some cylinders here for the little arms. So I'll roll this out. I'm going to open up some more silver, get that softened up. Gavin says, like the toy robots you crank up. Yeah, where they have like those little pegs that stick out. Isla Shack says, LOL, my friend just messaged me and said that she wanted to marry a Korean. Okay. Good morning, Nerdy Crafter. How are you? Jackie says, what's it looking like so far? Doing a little robot, so I've got some little screws in there for the eyes. Put a little nut on there and have a little wire antenna coming out. I'm using Primo Accent silver for the body. Now I'm just softening up some more clay to do to build up the legs. Jackie, I just watched your latest video with the craft kits that you did with your sister. I was really disappointed that the ones with the bugs and the creepy crawlers didn't turn out better. I thought that looked like a really cool kit on the box. I mean, even glow in the dark. All right. Dree says, could you give the legs the shape texture like a vacuum tube? Yeah, absolutely. She says, yes, I was disappointed about that as well. Jackie says, Andrew's a super sweet guy. Give him lots of love. And yes, that creepy kit was so sad. Thank you so much, Jackie. I greatly appreciate it. Jackie's channel has definitely been an inspiration for me, and I've said it from the beginning when I started following her. She has definitely made me a better artist. So I greatly appreciate it. All right, so I've got this softened up. Kevin says Nerdy Crafter is the one who told me about you, Andrew, in one of her videos. Yes, that's awesome. That for the carrot monster that was inspired by one of her videos. Okay, so I'm just going to roll this out. I'm going to try to get them about even. So I want to do like a vacuum cleaner tube texture to it. So I'm just going to use my needle tool, the side of it, kind of wrap it around there. I'll probably end up distorting this a little bit as I put it on there, but I can kind of touch it up as I go. He says, yeah, I like that, Andrew. Excellent. Kevin says on Nerdy Crafter channel, we are salt, but Andrew, we are sugar. Nerdy Crafter says, LOL, Dre, I love seeing links between creators. Absolutely. I'm just going to roll this, get a little more. Now I want to try to, they don't have to match up perfectly, but I want to have them about the same spacing just so it looks like they're kind of made from the same parts. So I'm just going to line them up, and then I'll mark off my sections here. And then I will just wrap around, get these indentions. And then I'll probably use some wire to attach it just to give it a little more stability since I'm doing this all in one sculpting session. I want to make sure he is as stable as possible in the oven. Dree says, I think the same texture would look good on the arms as well. Hi, Renee. And Renee says, it's how we learn. I've learned from many creators and they learned from me. Yeah, it's excellent. We want to grow as a community. Nerdy Crafter says, Canada is good. All summer events are canceled, so I won't be vending at my first Comic-Con this year. Oh, no. Yeah, Nerdy Crafter, my convention for March has been canceled, obviously. The one from April's been canceled. And I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with the summer ones. Gavin says, my baby brother came in the room and started watching the live stream. My baby brother said hi. Well, tell him hi. I appreciate him joining us this morning. So I'm doing this a little off center in case these need to stick out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of mark where I want them. And then I'm going to do indentions with the needle tool. And this will help that wire go in and I don't have to put too much pressure on the leg piece. So I'm just sticking the wire or the needle tool in and then rotating it a little bit to opening up that hole there. I don't know if I did that quite. I take the wire out, sorry. There we go. Gonna need some feet for them, so I think I'm gonna try to do this kind of triangular feet, and hopefully that'll give him stability in the oven. But you can see what we have so far. Nerdcrafter says, Comic-Con is so fun. I love watching the cosplayers. Dree says, I wish I could visit a Comic-Con, but there's no good ones here. right. Sorry I'm not being able to kind of keep up with the chat, but I think the arms need to be a little bit longer. But let me do the feet next. Kevin says, "Hey nerdy, your channel has really made the salt come out of me." All right. In fact, instead of the triangular shape, I might do kind of more of a block because I think the legs will sit on it better. All right. Let's get this figured out here. So I'm just making one block, and then I'm going to cut it in half and see if we can give him some kind of big, like Frankenstein type feet. Kawaii Pixie, hi, how are you? I'm doing great. All right. Basic little rectangular blocks. Try to get them about as close to the same size as possible. For stability reasons, you know, I'm going to keep them close together. He's not going to have much of an action pose. And I am going to extend it out a little bit to the back there, just to help him be stable during the baking process. All right, I'm going to bring this guy up to the camera because I know it's not the best angle this way. Kawaii asks, can I ask what you're crafting today? I'm making a little robot. So this guy's out of Primo Sculpey. I'm using Primo Accent Silver for the base, and I'm using some different hardware for, you know, like using a nut there and a wire for an antenna, some screws for the eyes. Now we're going to add his arms. Dree says he's doing the easiest step of the robot, Andrew. Yes. Kawaii says you're making me want to get my clay out myself. Excellent. Do it. Andrew says standing very still. Okay, so now I need to figure out his arms. And I will go with kind of a texture pattern like the vacuum tube for that. These are too small, so I'm just going to mix that in with what I have here. Hello, Ace of Clay, how are you? I didn't realize Nerdy Crafter had done a tweet, so that's awesome. I am also part of Ace of Clay's group, the Snakes of Clay, and that's kind of how I've met some more people in the community. Well, since we got a lot of new faces on here, if you guys enjoy my content, do the whole be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell, and it might tell you when I go live. I do post in the community tab kind of my live schedule for the next week. But every Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time, I do a Let's Make a Monster live stream, and that's a lot of fun. And the monster's based on viewer input. So I put, I start with the base color, and then all the attributes are based on what the viewers request on, like how many eyes, what kind of teeth, and so on. Nerdy Crafter says, I got into Sculpey blocks because of Ace of Clay. He told me to stop using the mushy stuff. Ace of Clay says, awesome. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was a little nervous when Jackie showed up, but then when Ace of Clay showed up, then it's just like, now I feel like I've got, it's like the president and the vice president are here. I definitely wasn't expecting this, so I greatly appreciate everybody coming on. All right, so I've got 2 little snakes rolled out. Nerdy Crafter, you need to impress us. No! It's too much pressure, Jackie. I feel like I need to put my glasses on to make sure I'm not making mistakes on this little guy. Ace of Clay says, live videos make me so nervous. Major props for you being able to do this so well. Thank you. All right. So I think I'm going to do and have these come out, and then I'll bend them. And I'll use a little bit of a wire for support. And that way they kind of will stay in place. So I'm going to cut off a piece of the wire, and I'm going to basically just run this through and then attach the arms and then kind of bend them. So first thing I need to do is make a path for my wire to travel, so I'm not hopefully messing up my sculpture too much doing this. I've already not quite centered it. That's a little better. And what's nice about the clay is if you make a little mistake, you can always kind of just smooth it out. And my wire's a little bit thicker than my needle tool, so I'm just going to kind of rotate it in here. You can see how that's in there. Gavin says, Andrew, we have the 3 musketeers of Ace of Clay, Andrew, and Jackie. I feel like I'd be like the 4th musketeer. All right. So I think that's going to be sticking out a little farther than I want, so I'm going to just adjust it a bit. There we go. And I'm not for sure if this is going to work. This might be too much clay for this, but kind of thinking I'm going to take this eye hoop and use these for the hands. So I'm just going to basically screw these into place. I almost wish I had a hook, and I do have this other one I could use for the other hand. I thought about, you know, I thought it'd be cool if his hands were different. Dree says, may I suggest something, Andrew? Of course, Dree. Waiting for Dree's suggestion before I go too far. I'll start adding some texture while I wait. So I'm doing the same thing I did on the legs. I'm just doing an indentation. Renee says make one out of the nuts and bolts. Dree says maybe you could fix the arm straight out of the body. You mean so like straight out this way or straight out that way? I think they're gonna droop if I do it that way. I could do it this way if I replace the wire with a longer wire now that I just cut it, but that's fine. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'll go back to texturing this while I wait. Oh, no, hanging down. Okay, so like this. Yeah, so let's make it a little bit shorter then. I'm gonna figure out where I want it to, I think right about there. Yes. For some reason, I'm getting a lot of messages that say held for review, and I don't know why. So I want to have a little bit above where they're going to go in at. Dree says, and maybe a little bolt on the arm like I fixed with that. All right. So I've got these bolts, and I've also got the nuts. But, I mean, it's not going to have enough to go through if I try to put them together, I don't think. Oh, maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about. Eyeless Jack says, well, good night, Andrew, and everyone in the comments. Good night, Eyeless Jack. Thanks for coming on my channel again. I greatly appreciate it. Nerdy Crafter says, I think arms down for the robot. Dree says, nut. I mean, nut. Does this work, Dree? Something like this? Oh. Ace of Clay says, I vote arms down too. Excellent. We're going to go arms down. If I can get this piece to stay in here, but I don't know if I have enough of the bolt. I don't know how to say that name. Is it Ray T? Ray Tay? Arms down. And honestly, arms down is probably Ray T. Okay. Dree says just push the bolt into the arm over the metal rod sticking out of the body. Yeah, this has got a lot of weight. I'm going to just stretch out a little bit. I don't know if this is going to work, guys. We're going to give it a try, but I'm going to add some texture. So we're just doing the same kind of vacuum tube texture that I did on the legs. All right, and then we're going to kind of use the one I just did to line up for the next arm. So I've got little indentions there that I can kind of follow. Dree says, I do not have the words to say what I mean. I'm sorry. Sorry if I'm not understanding. Dree says, like, where the normal normal sailor tattoo would go on the upper arm. Oh, so like put like a little nut or bolt there as like kind of a marking. And push the nut in there. Okay, I think I can give that a try. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. That wire's still gonna be a little thick because I don't want it poking through. Maybe I'll have it poke through one side and I can put that nut over there. We'll get this guy on first. Dree says the tiniest nut you have, and I think it's this one. See that there? All right, now cut off that excess wire sticking out. All right. I'm hoping this is what Dree meant, so this is what we're going to go for. So that's what I have so far with the little robot guy. Gonna bring him up. Hopefully you guys can see him okay. I think I want to add some details to the front. Hi, Sherlock. Sherlock says, oh, he's so cute. Thank you. Super cute. Thank you. Andrew says he's so awkward and robotastic. Robotastic. All right, I think I don't know, like we talked about doing a panel thing, but I'm going to do some detail of some panel work. So I'm just going to do an indentation down the middle. I kind of hit that foil because I've got this so tight on here, but I don't think it's going to be an issue having that show through. Or I can also add like a black wash over him to kind of go through some of the indentions on him. And then I'm just going to add some spots for some little rivets. If Nerdy Crafters asks, will you be brown black washing it? Yes, I think I will, because I think that'll help make these details pop on it. Yeah, never mind, just answer that. That's okay. And I know there's a delay with my chat in the video. The setup I have now, you know, I'm filming and then the chat's on my phone, so I know I see it later than it shows up. Because if I do something, it shows up in my feed later. So obviously I can't, you know, bake him and do the black wash on the live stream. So I will post pictures of him online, or I'll do like a quick look video, and it might be live stream, but I'll just put it up on my channel. So what else do we think he needs? Kind of wanted to put this in his back, but it's so long I don't think I can go all the way in on him. But I still think it'd be fun to try to do it. I think if I started the screw with this, like I did on the other, I think that might work. I'm going to try to do it without messing it up. So I'm basically just twisting this in here to kind of get me a opening in that foil. And that actually went in better than I thought it would. We'll see if I can add this. Tree says a wind-up robot. Absolutely. I think it was Gavin that gave me that idea too. I mean, I had this out, but I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It's not quite big enough for the wind-up part. And I am putting pressure on the front, so I might have to redo that line work I did, but that's not a big deal. That was a pretty quick little thing. Sherlock asks, would liquid sculpey work for holding the bolts in, or would you have to use regular glue? Well, I think that it's going to hold in fine because it's going to bake in there, and I've got foil in for the base. I actually didn't distort the front at all. I thought I would. Dree says, okay, maybe a weird suggestion, but butt plates. Ace of Clay says, looks awesome, thank you. Nay says, make a wind-up key out of a wire. Nerdy Crafter said, I think liquid clay would definitely work for holding them in. Yeah, I know this will, just for this little guy, it'll work to do it this way. I like using liquid clay to kind of cover up stuff too when like if I added gears or something. Kind of give them like a coating. Ace of Clay says you could add some nail heads with the tiny ball styles, make lines you're making. Sorry, let me start over with that. Ace of Clay says you could add some nail heads with a tiny ball stylus, okay, besides the lines you're making, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I've added some here on the front. And then I was trying to decide if I wanted to do like little, balls to put in there. Dree says, Andrew, those little plates laying down next to the ball tool. Oh, these? Dree says, I see a butt happening there. All right, let's see if that'll fit. Oh, I think it will. They're not very round. Wonder if I can kind of bend it a little bit. It's not very thick. Oh, Nerdy Crafter says, I think he means a ball of clay and then X on at it to look like screws. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I will do that. Let me do the butt plates. Oh, the round ones. The round ones are pretty big. But I don't know if they're bendable at all, but I suppose everything's. Wow, those are thick. I just wanted to bend it a little bit so it would wrap around the robot a little bit. Dree says the round ones. Yeah, I've got the rounded ones. The rounded ones. Ray T says this is too cool. Accurate to a robot. It's also super cute. Thank you. Oh, just one then. Nerdy Crafter says thick robot butt. Mia says I drop out a bit for dinner and things are really speeding up here. Looks super amazing. Thank you. Oh, he fell over. Jesse Kiefer is here. Skynet is live. Hi, Jesse. How are you? Oh no, Dree, I'm not giving up on this. She says, hello, it's okay if it doesn't work. Just want to see if it would fit. Ray T says, I'm about to get pizza, but I won't leave. Oh, thank you. Now I want pizza. Well, let's see what we can do. I mean, I could have it. Let's see here. Okay, now Ray T's just being mean, showing all those little pizza emojis. I think that'll work. It's going to stick out. I mean, they're going to be flat, but he's a robot. There's no right or wrong here. Sherlock says, oh my god, little butt cheeks. He's got a little robot butt. All right, I'm going to set him down like this so you guys can see him. I am going to try one thing, just because I don't want to give up on this. Bemmy Bulldice has got bored and crashes to ask you. Awesome, thank you. Welcome. Dre says inspired by those plates, robot. Kind of reminds me of Wizard of Oz. We gotta see how strong Andrew is today. I'll say, look at it, I was able to do it. I did it. So we're gonna take these off. And that's kind of marked where I wanted to put them. I think this looks even better. Ray T says, I'm proud Jackie suggests you. Awesome, I appreciate it. Jackie's pretty awesome. I think she, she has good suggestions. All right, so now, Nay says, I subbed. Awesome, thank you. Yes, it worked. Now let's see if I have enough strength to do another one. I mean, talk about being on the spot, doing a test of strength during a live stream. Ray T says Jackie has good taste in salt. We all need a little bit of salt. Makes things extra tasty. All right, so now the only problem is I didn't quite line it up. Just want it to be a little more even. Sherlock says, I sub 2, need more crafters in my subs. Awesome. And for you guys new to my channel, I do have quite a few videos already on there, and I do live streams weekly. I also do an edited video. Right now it's every Wednesday. My favorite live stream is the one on Sunday, so it's at 2 p.m. Central Time. And it's a Let's Make Our Monster live stream. And I already said this earlier in the chat, but I know we've got some new people on here. And on that live stream, I make a little monster based on viewer input. And I know other crafters have done something similar. I just kind of do my own spin on it. All right, so Ace of Clay suggested to put some little bolts in there, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to roll out a snake of clay, do a bunch of little balls, fill it in, and then kind of put little markings on there to make them look like little screws. Ace of Clay says, I have to take off, but have a great day, everyone. Stay safe. Great work, Andrew. See you around. Thanks, Nerdy Crafter, again for the invite. Thanks for joining us, Anthony. You're awesome. Jesse says the chat has been assaulted. Ray T says the robot is unique. Thank you. Oh, Jackie, you have no idea what Jesse comes up with. I've known Jesse for a long time, and his puns are a little ridiculous. But if you like puns, you two would get along really well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 12. So 1, 2, 3. You guys didn't know you were going to get a counting lesson on here either. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sherlock says good puns are the salt of life. Nerdy Crafter says puns are life, so Jesse is my new BFF. All right, just getting these rolled into little balls. I'll just kind of push them into my indentions. Sherlock says, gotta laugh like the Count after all that counting. I'm trying to remember how he laughed. Did he just go, ho, ho, ho? No, that doesn't sound right. Ray T says, I can't think if a pun I ain't puntastic. Kind of work to put that little bolt in the back there to kind of adjust it while I'm working on it. Renee says this stream is riveting. There's a pun for you. All right. That one got away. Jesse, one wonderful robot. Ha ha ha. He says, Andrew, it's dinner time here, so I have to go. My son is a new fan. Awesome. Thanks for making these streams. You are welcome. Be sure to check out when I do a quick look of it so you can see the finished version. I'm not for sure. Maybe I'll do it on Monday after I do the quick look of Sunday's video. Maybe I'll just do them back to back. All right. Getting these little balls in here for the ends of the bolts, and it's sticking to my finger. All right. Looks like he's all buttoned up. He's all sharp dressed. Wow, and I even counted the right amount. Come on. This one got away. Bye, Dree. Thanks for joining today. Hopefully I see you on tomorrow's stream. This one I'm not happy with. So you know what we do? We're going to redo it a little bit. Get my indentation a little bit more. Just going to round out a little bit with the ball tool. Now I'm going to use the tip of my X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut. I'm going to make these for a flathead because I'm lazy. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I changed my mind. I think it'll look better with a little X in it. Miz says, when was tomorrow's live stream? I don't dare to close YouTube and fall out of the live part. It is tomorrow at 2 p.m. and I am Central time in the U.S. Gavin says, how much time is left? I accidentally paused. Probably not too much longer unless we have something else we want to add to this guy. I was just going to finish up these little bolts or screws on him. I have a lot of fun doing these streams, so it's like I never know when to end them. Gavin says, how much time is left? I need help. Gavin, I just answered that. It shouldn't be too much longer, bud. What do you need help with? I think I need a new desk. Every time I lift my arm off here, it creaks. That's not good television. Miz says that makes it 9 p.m. here, so I should be able to make it then. Awesome. Yeah, I've kept it the same time, so I mean it's worked for you before, so let's hopefully it stays that way. I know your schedule changes some. All right. So I'm going to bring him up to the camera. You guys can let me know if you think he needs anything else. He's got his eyes, he's got a little bolt, he's got a nut there on his shoulder. He's got one hand's this screw, or this nut and bolt, I guess. He's got his little circular hand. On the back, we've got his little wind-up key and his butt plates. He's got his antenna, of course, too. Sherlock says he's just so cute. Ears. We could do ears. Gavin says I need to know how much time is left in the bottom right because I paused. Oh, I can't tell that. So what should we do for ears? I could make ears out of wires and kind of twist them around like I did the antenna and stick them out and ram, twist them around. Or I could do them out of clay. Renee says 2 little antenna ears. Nerdy Crafter said I thought the antenna are ears. This one's just Dree's son suggested an antenna, so I did an antenna. But I could do 2 ears coming out the same way. I don't think there's any rules. Sherlock says ears like bird ears, holes. Well, and I could do, let's see what I have left of my supplies here. Oh, I'm only going to have one little nut like that. I thought I could do a nut for one ear. I could do a nut in this little screw. Nerdy Crafter says maybe ears, just 2 pieces sticking out of Frankenstein's monster on the side. Miz says those small plates with the holes in them. Sherlock says yes, but I'm not for sure what Sherlock is talking about. I don't know if it's yes to this or yes to something in the chat. Ray T says maybe the antennas are like they can connect to the Wi-Fi. Yes. Sherlock says one. Okay, yeah, I like this idea too, Sherlock. Nut on one side and bolt on the other. So that's what I'm going to go with. Jesse says sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Gavin says if Frankenstein's bolts came out, they would have out. He would have ears. All right, I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to use my larger ball tool. That's magnetic. Just going to do a little bit of indentation so it's easier to put the bolt in there. It's not quite big enough, but we're going to see if this works. And I'm going to use this to make the opening for the bolt or the screw. And that should be deep enough for that. And I don't want to put this one all the way in. I like the way it sticks out a little bit, so that way it kind of sticks out kind of like that bolt. All right. Gavin says, love it. Thank you. Bring it back up to the camera as long as he cooperates and stays together. Let you guys see him all the way around. Look at that shiny butt. Doo-doo-doo. All right. Is he done? That's the question. Sherlock says, I love hymns. Kevin says, can you push the eyes in more? Possibly. Renee says, love the shiny butt. Ms. says, I like the way mini crafters use the left hand on the left and the right hand on the right, even when they're right-handed. I've started to do this too. Sherlock says, his little butt cheeks kill me. Yeah, I like that idea. That was a good idea. Probably something I wouldn't have ever thought of. I mean, I always do little butts on my monsters, but I didn't think about it for a robot butt. Miss says a butt is always fun. Nerdy Crafter says, I feel like mini sculptors ambidextrous. One thing I've noticed about my sculptures, if I ever do, when I do my dragons or monsters and I add like spots to them, I always seem to put them on the right side. And I don't know if that's how my brain's working or because I'm right-handed. Either that or I'll cover it completely. But if I always put something on one side, it always ends up being on the right side. Jesse, Robots live stream. Gavin says, I am, but only when I'm crafting. Needed a drink. Jackie, maybe I'm just ambidextrous. Yeah, I feel like I am when I'm crafting, maybe when I'm video gaming. Not really anything else. Gavin is when he's crafting. All right, guys. Anything else for this little guy? If not, we'll end the stream. I'll bake him, and like I said, I'll show him off on a future video. Renee says, I had to be because I injured my right arm a lot as a kid playing sports. Dree, I'm back. I get to eat in mommy attic today. I'm mom. I get to make these decisions. Absolutely. Gavin says, nope, he's perfect. Oh, it's over. Haha, says Dree. Yep, this is what we've got. Nerdy Crafter says, have fun, stay indoors, stay safe, everyone. Yes, I hope everybody stays safe and healthy. Hopefully I see everybody on, or as many that can be on, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time for my Let's Make a Monster live stream. We have a lot of fun on that. Bye, Nerdy Crafter. Thank you so much for tweeting out, and thank you for coming on my live stream. Hopefully I'll see you on again soon. Renee says, he's awesome. Thank you. Dree says, see you tomorrow, Andrew. See you tomorrow, Dree. Enjoy your peaceful time in your mommy attic. All right. All right, guys, you are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. And remember, never stop creating. Bye.